Alright, this right here is I guess kind of a little instructional slash insight into how I go about doing reviews. I'm not going to show the entire process because usually between coming up with everything I'm going to do and actually doing it, it's about an hour long process. So I'm going to just give you guys the brunt of just setting it up and let you go from there. It'll also kind of serve as a nice little helpful kind of working your way around some of the stuff that's involved in Squarespace. So I mean, it's kind of like a double-edged purpose here. I've got some images down here that I found for later use in this. I've got some music in the background. Hopefully that won't cause any issues when I try to upload that, but all the credit goes to whoever is involved for that. Anyways, what we got here is we got the main navigation for Squarespace. It's probably going to look different for everybody else because this is for my particular site, so how things are laid out. In this case, I have two separate sections, one for my main movie reviews, one for my quick reviews, which are a lot shorter and less involved, but also involves less stuff, so it's kind of hard to elaborate on it. What I'm doing here is I'm adding a new movie because I just got done watching the 2014 redo of RoboCop, which surprisingly was a lot better than I thought, although not as fun as the old one in my opinion, but Anyways, start off, you gotta name things. Excuse terrible typing. I am no master of typing. What I'm doing here is I'm just kind of mocking things up. I have a process I follow just to speed things along. What I usually do is my thumbnail image here is, of course, the movie box cover if I can find it, or also what happens to be on IMDb, because it just makes life that much easier. When you hover over it, you get this nice little thing where it'll actually, you can click on it and move it around. What this will do is on the thumbnail, if it only shows a small amount, it centers it on that spot, so you'll have a better chance of seeing RoboCop. Featured post I end up setting because I use this to get out the main blurb for walls, so that when you do a search, all that's coming up is the, I'm moving my hands here like everybody can see it, all that will come up is the actual movie articles themselves. Sometimes if Squarespace decides to have a issue, I'll just save and then come back and try it again. With how I like to set my items up, I like to do the nice little picture for the box right on there so people can see it. I like to add some what's called a line in here. Used to be called a horizontal rule. They changed it to something a little more understandable. Another thing that's always fun is taglines. If a movie has a tagline, it gives a nice little thing for it to have a little extra pop, so I like throwing that in there. Otherwise, if it doesn't have a tagline, I end up trying to come up with one myself, and I don't know, it's just never as good in my opinion when I come up with it. We're going to add myself in a little audio block, and this is for when I read over what I write later on, so that people can, if they're, particularly lazy or they just don't want to read, they can come in here and listen to it, depending on, how much time they want to spend on it. Some people don't like to read, so they'd rather listen, so I provide that option. And then we add in a text block, because this is where I'm going to do my intro paragraph that'll serve as a summary. Pretty much just me BSing around. Then we get into the meat of it. And I'm going to do a couple of little weird things here. We got, my normal format is 7 paragraphs, which involves 3 text blocks is what they're called. Every time you want to add something in Squarespace with a new format, they have these little pluses so you can snap them in anywhere. So before, where I'd have to do these in order, I can just now click them and add them as I wish. So I have my 3 spots, 3 paragraphs there, 3 paragraphs there, and then my final paragraph. What I'll then do is take images and place them in there. I have some images already picked out that I found on the web, just to make my life a little easier. And in these, it's just a picture from the video. I'm not really moving this around because it doesn't matter at all. I want to keep the caption in there so I can put something stupidly witty in there. Like, you have 3 seconds to comply or whatever. Some kind of caption. I will then add another one in, and the purpose of these images, really more than anything else, is just to break up the wall of text, because too much text will end up just hurting your eyes. So now we'll have, 3 paragraphs, however long those are, a nice picture, another 3 paragraphs, nice picture, so on and so forth. The last little bit here, what I like to do is I like to provide a little IMDb link in case people are looking for anything specific. And what I'll do here is I'll hit enter, because I know I'm going to come in here and I'm going to type some of my final paragraph here. And I'll just select the IMDb. I'll come up here in the text menu that popped up for dealing with texts, and I'm going to click this little hyperlink symbol, paste my address in there for IMDb, cause it to open in a new window, and there it is. Now if I come back to this and I click this, I can easily get to IMDb to figure out whatever kind of information I need to find out from the movie, which at this point is usually just tags. And what I'll do here is I use the category to fill in the title of the movie. This way people can look through a list of titles, which I find a handy thing, because sometimes you're looking for a specific movie and you just want to scroll down and see what movies somebody's done. Tags is where things gets kind of overly zealous, I guess. I throw in the rating for the sheer purpose of being able to sort these through a menu elsewhere in the site that lets you just search for just the PG-13 movies or just the R-rated movies. That way, if you kind of, you want to see something for the kids and you're wondering what my opinion on one of those kind of movies is, and you can go straight to those and skip over having to figure out what it is later. I then also come down here and you have all these genres right here. And although I don't really do too much with them myself, I like to type all these in here. And that way, if somebody uses one of the search features on the site, they can go straight to it and find just sci-fi movies or just romance movies or whatever specific genres of movies I may or may not have done. I find it nice. It's just a point of ease for everybody else, really, is more than anything else. And this right here is the basic stub of what I will do. I have the image in the movie, I have a tagline put between 2 lines, I have an audio block for when I go through and I re-record after everything's done, and I'll put that up so it's just me reading over it. And I'm lazy enough where I will, if I change something when I'm typing it or whatever, I'll just leave it in there because I'm lazy and it's a long enough process as is. Introductory tagline kind of paragraph, which is pretty much just trying to build hype and usually trying to put in some kind of a retarded stupid pun that I love making, because that's who I am. And then right after this line here, this is where the actual review begins. So first 3 paragraphs I'll tend to speak about plot, or I'll try to. I mean, it's rough. Some movies really don't have 3 paragraphs worth of plot in them unless you want to say every single thing that happens in the movie. Throw up the image, I'll put a tagline in here. Like in this case, I know this is a ED, so I'm just going to make a humorous, in my mind, pun about the first movie, which, if I type it would help. You have 3 seconds to comply. It doesn't really matter so much. It kind of usually tries to reference what's going on here. Auto spelling is your friend. I mean, this is really just there to describe the picture in some way, shape, or form, or say something stupid that relates to the picture for the sake of just breaking up all the text. In between the pictures, I'll usually have 3 paragraphs, and I'll either talk about the audio if it was particularly stunning to me, the acting, the setting, the costumes, the effects, whatever kind of things are in the movie that I feel like talking about. And sometimes this is where I kind of started doing the quick flick reviews, is I just can't really find all that much to really talk about it, and I feel bad having a bunch of paragraphs that are just one sentence, because it's not so much a paragraph as it is just a sentence. Then down here, in this little space between this link and that there block of image, is just the final paragraph. We got the link to IMDb in case I need to reference something later, and then at the very end I'll add a video block. And what this will do is this will ask me for a URL. What I like to do here is I like to provide a trailer for the movie. So I'll just go straight to YouTube and I'll find somewhere. If I have an official site like Sony Entertainment right here, I'll click on that and I'll try to use that one. Because I like to provide a trailer, because if you haven't heard about a movie, which a lot of times I watch some pretty out there movies, then you might want to watch a trailer. So now you have a trailer there. When I get done and write this first paragraph, I will then copy it and I'll put it into the excerpt section. That way people can read that hype paragraph or whatever to get going and, hopefully get excited. And then when everything is done, I go into share. It's linked to the Facebook page, at which point it'll automatically push, when I click save and publish, all the information needed to the Facebook site, so people can be like, oh hey, there's a new post, I can go and check it out if I want to or not. And that is it. I will save periodically, because sometimes something goes wrong, internet dies or something, and it will lose pretty much everything if I don't do that. So keep that in mind if you're using Squarespace and you're not just copy pasting stuff from a notepad or something. The platform itself is quite handy and really takes down some of the work involved in website management. I mean, as you can see, all this stuff here, this didn't take a whole lot of time. On average, the bulk of time it takes for reviews is completely me trying to come up with what I want to talk about and writing it down in a review, which is why I like the quick flick ones, which is just a bullet list. For now, I will just kind of show one of the last ones I did, just so you can kind of see what differs here. The main differences here are just the layout. I still do this top exactly the same. I get rid of the audio block because that's just time and effort that I don't want to deal with. Put a line here, single image here, pops up, gives the point that, hey, these are the things that I like about the movie. This is just a text block with a bullet option selected. Again, nice and easy. And then right here, this is actually a HTML code to give it that specific font and color that I want. Which, if I double click on this, it's straight up just HTML. I mean, there's more things you could do with that. I'm just not that inventive, I guess, and I'll just do it that way. Again, same thing here. Name of the movie, all the tags for genres and all that good stuff right there. Similar formats, just quick flicks go a lot quicker, so I can do them more easily and more often. The big reviews take longer, so I tend to limit how many times a week I do them. I used to do them all the time, realized that it was starting to really tax on me, and I was kind of getting sick of watching movies because I knew I was going to end up pulling a review on it. Quick Flicks remedies that by letting me just pop out a quick review. I leave comments on because I hope that someday people will actually comment on them. I mean, sometimes I hope they're productive, but it's a review. It's my opinion. People are going to have different opinions about a movie. It still gives them somewhere to share them if they want it. The draft can be changed. It'll change automatically after it's posted. You can do some fun stuff there. You can preview it by clicking the little block over here just to kind of see how the end product is going to look. You see we got the picture there. We got layout a little bit changed here. It used to be up there when I was sampling it. We got the block, which it just kind of leaves all the text blocks really blank. You got the video, you can click on it, you got likes, all that good stuff right down there. Keeps everything nice and where you want it, allows you to do what you want to do when you want to do it. I'm happy with it. Hopefully that helps out. If anybody was curious, or for the people that were just trying to remember how to get back into using the site.